Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 12 of the anime series WataMote, which is, for all intents and purposes, as far as I'm aware, the series finale episode, and they kind of really brought it back to a level of status quo, which was something I loosely predicted would happen in a comment on my previous video, I believe. But it wasn't without its just hilarity and awesomeness. I really feel like they brought it full circle, brought everything back home by the end of this episode. And of course it begins with Tomoko really sort of embracing the concept of looking over that next horizon, trying to gauge what her future is going to be, as is one of her sort of homework requirements. And she has this conversation calling her friend Yu up to figure out what it is she aspired to be when they were in middle school. And this has to be, for me, probably the most hilarious revelation in the history of the series to do with Tomoko's aspirations, because Yu tells her you wanted to be an arms dealer. She wanted to be the first female Japanese arms dealer when she grew up, even to the extent of knowing all these different kind of makes and models of weapons, RPGs and automatic weapons, stuff like that. And I was just dying. I laughed really hard when that was the revelation. But of course, Tomoko is horrified by this and doesn't want to, relive her or recall her past. So she really sets her sights on the future, and she takes to doing this in a really strange way, in that she goes to her classroom with a mobile device and lets her record and leaves it at her desk so she can try to gauge what people are saying about her when she's not there. Of course, it backfires in that nobody's even acknowledging her at all. She's very much non-existent as far as everyone else is concerned. That is until this big penultimate moment where she ninjutsus a cockroach that has everybody running, for the hills, and she hears the sort of applause and elation of her classmates in her head, but in reality they're all kind of just dumbstruck and like, what was that about, And of course she plays back another recording session while she's hiding in the bathroom, and here's a couple of girls saying that they were kind of freaked out by that and don't really know what to make of it. So she's not gauging at all, correctly the way her classmates are dealing with her. And you have her running into that popular girl again, the one that really made her day worthwhile in the previous episode. I was so impressed by that. And she realizes through a conversation this girl is having with another one of her friends, this is who I'm trying to be. She has girlfriends, she has guy friends, she doesn't really have enemies, she's popular, everyone likes her, she's very likable. This is who I'm trying to project myself to be. This is my goal. And so she wants to have a confrontation. And I love that as she's following this girl, we get a call back to that portrait that was made of her in like episode 2, I think it was, that sketch that one heavyset kid made. And I love, that while we're sort of recalling the past in the series, again, it's really leaping forward, because once she decides she's got to have a confrontation with this girl, I ask her flat out, what is it that makes you so likable, and how can I be more like you? You have this awkward turn where, of course, the wind whips up and whips this girl's skirt up, embarrasses the hell out of Tomoko, and she just launches off, running home. You have that bombastic metal OP track playing as she's running. She runs past Yu. Yu is there for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. But then, of course, she stops off to pet a kitty. And, Tomoko goes all the way home, and that's it. But this girl ends up saying to these other classmates of hers when they ask, oh, was that a first-year student? Who was that? She says, oh, that's Tomoko Kuroki. I think she's really cute. She's funny. So all of a sudden, the most popular girl in the school has just set her sights on Tomoko. And just imagine the next day, going back to school, how different it's probably going to be. I only regret that we don't get to see that. But in place of it, we get this great final line where it really has brought full circle Tomoko, as far as she's sitting in her room with the lights down low, staring at her computer screen, much as the series began, and she's looking at that article, how to gauge if you're an unpopular girl. And suddenly she just sort of, after sitting there a couple of seconds, flips off her computer, turns around, has a hearty, genuine laugh, and says, it really doesn't matter. And that's been the gist of the series all along. We feel like everything is the weight of the world when we're that young, when we're in middle school or high school, whether we're liked, whether we're loved, whether we're feared, whether we're hated. All of these things, whether we have boyfriends or girlfriends, it all seems to matter so much. And in reality, it's just a stepping stone to adulthood. It really doesn't matter that much, unless we make it matter. And, it depends on whether we make the good things or the bad things matter. So I love that this series acknowledges that in its final moment, and I loved this series. I love Tomoko Kadoki as a character, one of my favorite all-time anime characters now. Can't wait to eventually own this series. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of this final episode if you've seen it. Otherwise, that'll be it from me. I'll catch you later. Peace.